And we're live. What's going on, guys?
Playing the trumpet, like the most beautiful saxophone outside of our house, but we don't know who it is.
Literally on our doorstep, but we can't find where they are.
I know. So I feel like we're at like a swanky steakhouse right now, but we're in our...
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
We're in the kitchen eating our breakfast.
We're here, episode 7. That means we've been doing this for almost a month now.
What do you mean, 7 weeks?
Yeah.
It's like a month and a half. It's almost 2.
7 weeks is a
There's
little
4
less
weeks in
than
a month.
2 months. Oh, I meant to say 2 months. So if you guys are new to this, we do not really talk much about keto, but we eat keto foods on screen while we talk about crime, disturbing cases, murders, mayhem, things like that. So if that's not your thing, you might not like this.
So what's on the dinner menu for tonight?
And we're not going to start the crime stories until 5:30 because that's when we're supposed to start this. We're a little early.
Yeah.
Is my head cut off on this? No, right?
So I have eggs, bacon, broccoli, and some cherry tomatoes.
So we call a baby bowl around here.
Yes. And I also have a ginger ale Zevia.
I have a big boy bowl. This is broccoli about 2 cups, like 3 slices of bacon, 6 eggs, and a little cheddar cheese on top. Then I have a coconut here, fresh coconut. I've been doing this like for the past week. Really good. Because no one goes to the trouble of cracking Julius. No one goes to the trouble of cracking coconuts, but they're actually delicious.
Yeah.
I got a keto bar for an after dinner treat and a Zevia. Julius, come here.
Someone said I looked tired. Someone said I looked great. I appreciate all the feedback.
Julius, what are you doing? Come here. Come here.
So Wednesdays, I've been like frequently just, I don't know, for some reason Wednesdays, we go to the gym on Wednesdays always, and I like to take a nap right before Murder She Ate.
Oh.
So I wake up from my nap, and then we cook dinner, and then we go. And so that's why I look tired usually.
I think this trumpeter is really riling up Julius. But no, we got these Aura rings. And Julius, come here. Julius slept with me last night. So the previous night he didn't sleep with me. 96. What did I say? Was it 96 or was it 90?
Maybe 96?
It was pretty high, like a 96 out of 100 sleep score. And then last night, what was it? 70 something?
76?
It was 76 because of Julius. So, man, this dog. Julius is the cutest. Yeah, he really disrupts people though when we're like, they have their headphones in, he suddenly barks into the microphone.
I also don't have eyeliner on, which makes me just no makeup.
You look beautiful.
Thank you, baby.
They wrote that, Kendrick Lamar probably wrote that song about you, about no makeup.
I feel like that's a really sad song.
And guys, if you want to suggest cases, you can do that.
That's where I get all my cases.
The best way to do it is after the live stream ends, when the video is uploaded.
Yeah.
Then the comments stick there, so we read through those for suggestions.
I always look the following week right before I'm doing my own research.
If you have anything you want us to eat for some reason, let us know about that. We're debating between Buffalo Wild Wings or breakfast for dinner.
But I wanted breakfast, so Matt's so obliged. He wanted wings. I didn't know he just randomly will toss out like wings, and it's like, where did this come from? I thought
Some days I just wake up and I'm like, wings today.
Yeah, it's usually a Saturday thing though, so I wasn't expecting it.
And if you guys found us through our crime videos, which is unlikely.
That's amazing.
First off, congratulations, you're one of the few.
Yeah.
But we mostly do videos on the keto diet, so that's our thing. And as we've been doing these videos, I have my favorite cases, right? Like the ones that the first time I heard just like blew my mind. I was like looking through them for days afterwards. The one I'm telling tonight is one of those. Mm-hmm. But I don't do that every week because I like to learn about new ones and kind of space out the good ones. But
so you already knew this one?
Yeah, this is one of my all-time faves. It's crazy. Tonight is one of my big dogs. What are you guys eating for dinner tonight? Oh, and if you guys didn't notice, we didn't even talk about this. Someone sent us these shirts. Her name is Ketonement on Instagram.
I think her name's Ashley.
Her name's Ashley. I'm gonna type her Instagram handle in chat right now. Ketonement.
Matt, are you wearing a ring? What's up?
Yeah, it's an aura ring.
Aura ring. We got an aura ring, so trust me, every time I see it, I'm like, ugh.
It looks gross, I know.
It looks really weird. Matt's not a jewelry person.
Uh-uh.
I would never like date someone, no offense, or be with someone who wears jewelry. A watch, I like. But like anything else aside from a watch, I can't do. Like, you don't even need
I don't even
like,
get
that's
the
over the
watch.
top.
Like, why are you wearing a watch when the clock's on your phone?
Yeah, but why are you addicted to your phone?
I'm not.
Matt is so addicted to his phone. I'm just realizing that I'm also marrying a 13-year-old girl who can't get off her phone.
Here's the thing. I I barely look at my phone all day. But when we're up here watching TV and I'm bored, then I look at my phone.
But we start a show that we both like, so we're not bored, and then you're bored, so it's like, should we change the show?
I think me looking at my phone is not that out of line. I think your expectations for me to just be fully engaged in the show with you is more out of line.
Well, if you want to watch a show, then I would assume you're going to be more engaged than I am. Right?
No, I don't. Because I know that you like to watch shows. Anytime I'm saying we should watch a show, it's because I know that you want to watch a show.
Well, then we won't watch shows anymore. I'll just watch them in my own private time.
Someone made the pesto from the recipe on Sunday.
Such an easy, delicious recipe, right?
Someone just said burn. I like when someone says something and then you say burn. You remember we used to always say that?
Who gave the burn, though?
I gave the burn, probably.
How?
Did you guys get married? No. Mm-mm. Yeah, this ring. I've never worn jewelry at any point, and I didn't realize how like intrusive a ring is. Like I can't fully put my fingers together. I didn't know that rings did that. Like sometimes I will sit with my hands like this, and it hurts. And even
you're like the father penguin, and you're cupping the egg when the woman's out to sea.
I'll be standing and I'll just go like this.
Why?
I don't know. Like sometimes like this, more like this.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Mega gave the burn. Ooh, thank you for clarifying. I just got Keto Made Easy in the mail.
Oh.
It's so full of yummy looking recipes. Yay.
Try some. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. You better get used to it when she puts a ring on it. Actually, no, he's not going to wear a wedding ring. We're just going to use the Aura ring for the wedding ring when we actually get married. It just makes the most sense.
It's like a Fitbit, basically. But it tells you more about sleep.
Oh.
There's Miley. Miley, if you guys don't know, she's having a procedure on Friday.
Yeah, she hasn't been doing so well. She's been very congested, and there might be something like in her ear, like some liquid they have to drain. What does the ring do? You can look it up. It's called an Aura ring, O-U-R-A. It tracks like steps, sleep. So sleep and activity are like the big things it tracks. Like I would say this is probably the most accurate, right?
Who really knows?
That's true. But it's...
I think there's people that do tests on which is the most accurate.
But we like to track our sleep. It gives us a good indication of like what's going on at night. Because I wake up several times to go to the bathroom, and like I like to know if it disturbs Matt. So when we sleep together and I go to the bathroom, the next day I can be like, hey, look at your Aura ring stats. Did you wake up at all? And it's fascinating to know, you know?
Our stats from last night, my sleep was really bad because Julius, what he does when he sleeps with me is two things. He nipples on the blanket. He like makes a little nipple and then chews on it all night in the blanket. Mm-hmm. And he needs to constantly leverage it. So like he starts off just normal, but then he keeps on like twisting his body around the nipple to get better leverage on it. And then when he gets cold, he like cuddles in between my legs, and that wakes me up. Should we get a new, or should we get started?
Yeah.
Are you going first like always?
Sure. I like to go first and then just like chill. Is 57 too late to start keto? Never. It's never too late to like start something that can make a positive impact on your life.
When you sleep together, don't you always sleep together?
So
most of the time we do, but once in a while.
98% of the time we sleep together, but lately Matt's been liking to stay up and watch video games on his computer at night, and so he's like up till like 11, and the screen's blaring, and I like to go to bed by 9:30, so he sleeps in the guest room with Julius.
I've done that like 2 out of the last 3 nights.
But I've slept in the guest room alone before, like, and he slept in our bedroom, and it's nice.
It is kind of nice.
Sometimes
It's like
nice,
a vacation.
Yeah, to just like, and that probably sounds bad because we've been together for 4 years, but it really just works. Maybe give it a try, unless you guys like go to sleep perfectly together. Okay.
We already talked about what we're eating, but one more time. This is basically like an egg mixture. It's eggs, bacon, broccoli, cheese, cheddar cheese. I have a coconut here, fresh coconut. I broke it open the other day. I have a keto bar and a Zevia soda. Salad for dinner? We're not having salad. You could have salad though.
Yeah, and then mine's the same thing, except I don't have cheese. I have cherry tomatoes. I like a little freshness when I cook everything down in bacon grease. Okay.
We begin.
Yeah, and just as a heads up, we Matt puts a screenshot of the video in the morning on Wednesdays, so you can see the cases we're gonna do beforehand and do some research if you want to look at them, and like then just throw your crazy ideas out there if like listening is too hectic or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm doing The Disappearance of Bobby Dunbar. And I think I'd heard this before, but I didn't know the full case, so I liked digging into it.
I don't think I've ever heard of this.
Yeah, I think you're gonna really like it. I was excited because I thought you'd like it. You're
okay,
reading into it. You can't read.
I can't seem to find the Zevia Cola in Canada. I don't know.
Not all grocery stores have it, I'll say that much.
I'm not familiar with Canada. We can ask one of our friends who lives in Canada, though, about it. She might know.
Yeah. Okay, Bobby Dunbar. On August 23rd, 1912, 4-year-old Bobby and his entire family, including his mom, his dad, and his brother, and then several other family members, 11 in total people, were staying at the family's cabin in Louisiana. It's like a swamp lake woods area. So like very just out there. And it's 1912.
Are they from Louisiana?
Yeah, they're from like further up in Louisiana.
Okay.
It was called like Swanee Poo or something.
Are they like swamp people? Because 1912 Louisiana, they're probably like swampies.
No.
No?
I think they're just normal people.
Okay.
And they were just at their family cabin. So it was the afternoon, and Bobby wanted to go to the lake with a family friend whom he was really close with, and the family friend's significantly older, and again, Bobby's 4. And so he asked his mom, and his mom was like, yep, that's totally fine. And so Bobby and the other kid, and then a bunch of other like family friends, they all went to the lake together. As they were heading back for lunch, Bobby went missing from the group, and it wasn't until they arrived at the house for lunch that the mom noticed. She was like, Bobby's gone, like something was up. So a couple people start searching for Bobby in the woods. They're searching like the back paths where the father usually walks. So they're like, maybe Bobby went to follow his father because the father like left for work early that morning, but they didn't find anything. So come nightfall, they decide to start looking in the river, and they do so by blasting dynamite throughout the lake. And they're also like cables with big hooks dragging along the bottom of the river.
Wait, the family's doing this or police?
No, the family.
They're using dynamite?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's just something people used to do or
1912.
something?
I don't know. So they are looking like really seriously for him, and nothing turns up in the river. So at this point, they're like, all right, maybe like a big animal got him. So they start gutting alligators to like maybe find his remains. Like if the alligator swallowed Bobby, they'll find his remains. I know, a little over the top, but...
So these are swamp people.
Yeah, okay, fine. I guess that defines swamp people. So nothing was ever found regarding Bobby. The mom became really, really sick and ill to the fact that her 4-year-old son was missing. So the entire family returns to home, while 3 out of the 11 people, so 3 other men in the group, they stayed behind, and they kept searching for weeks on end. And the only thing they found really was a set of footprints leading to a railroad track, but nothing else. So they started to think, okay, maybe he was kidnapped, maybe someone on foot took him, or someone like in a boat could have taken him through the river, right up the river. And so there's just so many like theories out there, and they're not really sure what happened.
So footprints they led where?
Just to a railroad track. So like at the time, like
Are they sure they're Bobby's footprints?
no, they were someone else's footprints.
Oh.
So like Bobby was forced, so someone could have been carrying him. That's why they think it's a kidnap. So like, you know, it was like an area where a lot of like vagrants hang out and like peddlers, like not like, you know, it was like a sketchy area. So maybe someone there kidnapped him.
And then real quick, Matt Pooh Thompson donates $10.
Thank you.
I love you both. I've lost 70 pounds in 6 months with your guidance. I love working through your cookbook.
That's amazing.
That's amazing to hear. Yeah, keep it up.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
So by the 26th, this is 2 days later, local authorities in New Orleans were notified by the family. And New Orleans is like 130 miles from where they are, but it's like the biggest next city. And Bobby's dad even goes up to New Orleans and he starts handing out flyers with Bobby's picture on it. And then there's like little postcards handed out with description of what Bobby was wearing and what he exactly looked like. And so he had a scar on his like left foot, I think, something that really stood out. He had a scar on his left foot and like one toe is bigger than the other.
Julius.
And while this was happening, Bobby's hometown contributed $1,000 of a reward for his return. But after 8 months passes by, there's no sign. So the reward is returned to everyone in the hometown. Not really significant, but just something to note. But in April of 1913, so this is a year later, William Walters, who's just like, pretty much like just, I think he's a mechanic, a peddler, just like, you know, no one really, like he's not doing much. I don't even know the definition of a peddler.
Me neither.
Okay.
I saw it in parentheses on your notes and I was like, I don't know what that is.
I was going to look that up, but I totally forgot. But, you know, he's...
But I don't put any stock into most of these sightings of people that are like years after the fact.
Well, it's been 1 year, and this is... William Walters is important. You keep reading my notes. You're just going to know ahead of time.
No, you said that. You said 1 year after.
Okay. So in April of 1913, a year later, William Walters is spotted with a boy that resembles Bobby. Important.
Not too important to me yet.
And then when he's questioned, he gives inconsistent answers about who the child belongs to. But eventually, so like the police are like, all right, you know, is he yours? Is he your sister's? Is he your brother? Stop reading. I don't like when you read my notes. And then eventually he's seen hitting the child by like the community. So they have enough evidence like to pull a citizens committee detainment.
What do you mean hitting? Like spanking?
Yeah. So they detain Walters and they're able to examine this boy they think is Bobby.
But back in 1913, spanking was like everyone did that, right?
Yeah, but they wanted reason to like examine the boy, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it takes at this point. So everyone believed it was Bobby. And at first the Dunbars, the parents, the Dunbars, they seemed pretty skeptical of like it actually being him. But upon seeing his pictures that were sent to the family, they drove down and they just needed to see him in person because they were still unsure. They saw the picture, they're like, maybe, so they drove down, they're like, let's see him in person. The boy did have a similar scar on his toe, and he had like a mole on his neck that Bobby also had. And those things, you know, like they add up, right? That makes sense. This is a little boy that's been supposedly missing.
I mean, those two for me, that's like a home run then.
Yeah. So the boy had the scar and the mole, but he didn't respond to Bobby, and he wasn't interacting with the mom as if it was his mom.
It's been a year and he was 4 though.
Yeah.
I think that might be normal.
So the next day, when the mother spends time with the boy, she feels, in fact, that like this is my boy. This is
She
Bobby.
says that?
Yeah.
I think there is something to be said for like a mother's intuition.
Don't you recognize him right away? It took her a day.
I don't know. It has to be a tough situation to be in. You would think you would.
I feel like when you have a child, you're going to be able
know?
to recognize it in a group of people.
But they've been raised by someone else for the past year, so who knows?
What he looks like? Yeah, okay.
His
You
personality.
definitely don't have a woman's instinct, because I thought that was weird that she didn't recognize him at first and she was like unsure. Anyway, so William Walters continues to insist throughout the entire time that this isn't Bobby, but it's someone named Bruce Anderson. And Bruce, the little boy, belongs to his brother and a woman named Julia Anderson. And William said that Julia, the mom, the actual mom, Julia Anderson, gave him permission to take the boy out for a couple days. So he also wanted like a reason to be having this 5-year-old boy because otherwise, he'd be caught for kidnapping.
Why would you have a 5-year-old boy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it would look weird. So that's what he said. On May 1st, Julia Anderson comes to town, and Bobby doesn't react to her well either. So it's like, who's the mom? It's not Julia.
It's definitely not her then, because she would have only been away from him for like a few days, right?
No. So something to note, there's a couple things to note. One, when he went back to the Dunbars as Bobby, he was showered with gifts. He was put in a parade in the town. So he was like, he's feeling good. He has a pony. He got a pony and like a bicycle. And so all these like gifts, and he's like, he's praised. So that feels good, right? For a little 5-year-old. And then also something else to note is that Julia hadn't seen her son in 15 months. So that's longer than Bobby had been missing.
Where did you think her son was?
She just like didn't know, and it didn't seem like she really cared.
Okay.
I guess she assumed that he was still with William, but like she couldn't do much about it because she has no money, she has no like real family. So at first, the weird thing is at first Julia also had trouble recognizing him as her son, as Bruce. But eventually, same thing. She realizes like, hey, this is my son, this is Bruce. So same exact thing happened with Julia as did happen with the other mother, right?
Okay.
But unlike Bobby's mother, who also couldn't recognize him at first, Julia wasn't forgiven, and she was really demonized for this fact in the community. And there was like news articles like, how could this woman not remember her child? He's been missing for 15 months. She doesn't care.
So do they have DNA testing for this?
Not in 1912.
Okay.
So she had 3 kids out of wedlock, and one was given up for adoption, and the other one died at a young age. So she's just regarded as a terrible mother. So the court rules in favor of the Dunbars, finding that the boy is in fact Bobby, and he remained with the Dunbar family.
So it sounds like maybe the Dunbar is more of like a middle class family, where this other one is just like, she's living on the streets.
She was a servant for the
Yeah.
Anderson family.
Okay.
Yeah. No, for William Walter's family. So William Walters was eventually convicted of kidnapping, but only spent 2 years in jail because there was a technicality in his case for which it was overturned. Just something to note. And so Bobby grew up in the Dunbar family. He married someone and fell in love with in 1945. They had 4 beautiful kids, and he passed away in 1966.
Wait, who is this?
Bobby.
Bobby grew up with the Dunbar family. Okay.
He's
married, had 4 kids.
Died in 66.
Okay.
He remained Bobby Dunbar.
Okay.
That's it. In 1999, Bobby's granddaughter became interested in the case, and she decided to start investigating. And there was a big scrapbook with all the articles, with all the evidence, and she was reading through everything. And there was a lot of opposing articles. Like some articles said like the parents recognized Bobby right away, whereas other articles were like the parents denied it was Bobby. They said the eyes were too small, like it couldn't have been Bobby at all. So she was just like really in the middle. And then she read a lot of like the Anderson side stories. And from her point of view, she was like, it seems like Bruce Anderson was actually just kidnapped. He was like taken from that family. That was her perspective. So she decides to pursue DNA testing. It's 99, so this can happen now. And eventually Bobby, stop looking.
I'm not.
So eventually Bobby Dunbar Jr. agrees to give DNA samples. So this is Bobby's son.
Okay.
Along with the son of Alonzo, which was Bobby's brother.
Okay.
They both give DNA samples, and a lot of the people in the family were really against this because, like, what would it do? What would be the point of, finding this out? Right. But the DNA was completed, and it wasn't a match. So it was never Bobby Dunbar.
Was it a match for the other kid?
They didn't test for that, so we just don't know who it was. So we can't for sure say it was Bruce Anderson, but we know for a fact it was not Bobby Dunbar.
That's crazy.
And so one thing I read that was interesting is that the parents of Bobby Dunbar killed him, and that's why they accepted him, because they wanted that cover-up.
I like that theory.
That was the only theory I read that was like, whoa, that's weird.
Real quick, someone donated $10. Homebodies Adventures. That's a funny name. Thank you guys for all the great content and sharing your story.
Aw, thanks for watching.
Wow. So either the family killing him, that makes sense, but
Why?
I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I don't know much about their back history, but it's funny that their child was probably like, you know, abducted and probably murdered, but they are none the wiser, and they just lived the rest of their lives happy that they had their kid back.
But it wasn't like, you know your kid, right? Like, there's parents out there. Like, we don't have any kids.
Have you ever seen The Imposter, the documentary?
This made me think of, did you see Changeling?
No.
Okay.
Or I think I did. I don't remember it, though.
But no, I haven't seen The Imposter.
The Imposter, a kid goes missing, I think in Texas, and this kid from like Europe somewhere, like Sweden, comes over and...
Oh, I did read that.
Yeah, and he... Like, it's everyone knows it's not the kid, but there's kind of like... I think the family wanted to believe it was, but it obviously wasn't.
But then the kid, he says after he gets found out, he was like, the parents definitely killed the boy. And so they start putting suspicion on the parents.
Wait, who said that?
The boy, the imposter. After living with them, he was like...
Yeah.
But this was just so interesting, right? So, I guess, like, what happened? He just got kidnapped, right?
Well, they cut open the alligators to see if the remains were inside. That doesn't make a lot of sense if you kill the kid unless you're trying to cover your tracks. But I don't know. I guess I don't really care as much about what happened as much as I care about just the psychology of it all.
Yeah.
Like,
what I don't get is how parents who have a 4-year-old son, 4-year-olds have very distinguished qualities at that point of what they're like as children and facially, right? And bodily. And you've seen the child head to toe. Like, how do you think this kid who's not yours is yours?
it's a year later, though.
So, a 4-year-old child, like, if your parents hadn't seen you from that, like, from when you were 10, they would still recognize you now. I guarantee it.
Maybe. But
Absolutely.
I think it's easy to think that, but in practice, who knows?
It just doesn't add up to me.
Oh, Ketone Mint is here. Ketone Mint's the one who made us these shirts.
Hey!
And she wrote us the nicest letter.
Oh.
All kids looked alike in 1912. That's funny. They kind of did, I guess. And, like, I guess I don't know the environment. Like, is the lake house, is that like a pretty private area where it's just kind of their property? Or were they walking on major roads?
It's 1912. What are, like, the major roads?
What are the odds of some like foul play happening? Someone just walking by or like stalking them or something?
Well, there was a railroad nearby with a lot of, like, stragglers and walking vagrants. I don't know.
What do you guys think? They didn't have a lot of photos then, only rich folks, so maybe harder to remember.
Also, I don't know, I guess we can't show you, but there is pictures of both of the boys online. They look so different.
Really?
They don't look anything alike. So we'll look at that afterwards, but you guys can check that out online. Completely different kids. Like, I saw the small eyes that the mom was talking about.
I could look it up really quick.
But can you show people?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do I search?
Bobby Dunbar.
Okay, we're trying
Right
to look
there.
this up. Which one? This
The
one?
left.
This one?
That one, right? Like, obviously completely different kids.
Okay. Wait, where? This one? Let me share this.
Like, right? It's so different. But he had the foot scar.
So that's the
See
comparison.
the small eyes?
Well, one has freckles and it looks like probably red hair. Right?
Because the freckles, you assume it's red.
Yeah. He just looks like a kid that has red hair on the left.
They just look nothing like the same boy.
Not at all.
So.
And which one's Bobby?
I don't know. I just know the points.
Yeah, they don't look the same at all. So I think someone in this story was not acting in good faith probably then. Like either the mother, Bobby Dunbar's mother, knew that it wasn't him. One of the mothers, I think, for sure knew it wasn't their kid.
Yeah. But it had to have been Bobby's mom because it wasn't Bobby. Right?
Yeah. They should do DNA testing to prove that it was the other kid.
Yeah, but I guess that would be up to the Anderson family. I don't know if they want to expose themselves to that.
There's no way those kids in those pictures are 4 years old. I don't know what 4-year-olds look like. Whenever I see a kid on the street, I'm like, you could be 2 or you could be like 15. I have no idea. I guess when you really get into like the 8 to 13 range, I really have no clue. Intermission.
And I will pull up the chat.
That was a good mystery. Mega's been doing less. I guess this was more of a classical disappearance. But a lot of you guys liked her story last week, which had like more crazy stuff going on, like conspiracy type of stuff.
Yeah, because I was like so into that because I believe it so hardcore. But then reading all the comments, I realized that a lot of people also believe in it.
So when or at least when I look up info on these cases, I always get taken to like blogs because a lot of people blog about this now. And everyone is just constantly like looking for the crazy scenario. The cops are in on it, you know, that type of stuff, where most of the time that's not the case.
How's everyone doing?
The pictures look like school pictures from the 60s. Yeah, are you sure that's the right picture?
That was the one that came up when I was like doing research.
A lot of people said they loved Megas from last week. That was a wrong pick, some people said.
Oh. What's the right one?
I don't know.
That one?
This one? This probably is. This looks way older.
Well, those are just obviously like weight. The weight of the child is very different.
Maybe that was the wrong picture.
Show this one then.
That seems like the wrong picture. This one? Okay, there's this one too, guys.
Stop.
This seems more like the time period. Like that looks more like a picture from 1912 to me. But is this 1 year of aging between the two? I don't know. Could be. Who knows?
Mega, have you seen the experiment where they blindfold kids and then they have to find their mother just by feeling their hands? They were 10 or so women in the group. Aw, that sounds like something I would love to watch and probably like tear up at.
What were the results of that?
I feel like the younger kids could do that. I feel like I could do that now with my mom. My mom has very prominent knuckles.
Yeah, I know they've done things where, you know how you can feel when someone's looking at you when you can't see anyone looking at you? There's been studies that is a real phenomenon. Like you can actually feel people looking at you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, like the case I did last week with the guy who felt the woman running behind him, and then she came up like this and with that cocked head.
Yeah.
They always guess the right mom. Mega, have you seen Donnie Darko? Of course I've seen Donnie Darko. Such a good movie.
I like it. I didn't understand it fully at first, but I still liked it. And then I had to read about it for the next day or two. I like movies where I watch them and then I have to read about them. Like the two movies that stand out.
Read about it?
To figure out what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie Darko and Inception are the two movies that I spent like the next 2 days reading theories.
Don't we have different theories on the ending, or do we have the same on Inception?
I don't know what your theory is.
When he spins the dreidel at the end, not the dreidel, his token.
Well, there's a lot of theories about the token. We don't need to go into theories. My theory is that the entire thing is a dream, though. He's still dreaming.
Oh, okay.
We're never not in a dream in the entire movie.
Okay. I don't remember what mine was. I feel like I'd have to watch it again. But that was such a good movie.
When Marge drops off the hotel, she's waking up. She's right. But he perceives her as being crazy and committing suicide. But she's actually just really waking up.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Okay.
Memento was phenomenal, too.
Memento? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first time I saw that. That's one you can only watch one time, I feel like, though.
No way.
You guys ready for mine?
Yes.
Okay, this is one of my personal faves. It's pretty crazy, sad story. This is the 2014 disappearance of Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon. And they're from the Netherlands, so...
They're women?
They're women from the Netherlands. And they arrive in Panama for a 6-week Spanish program from the Netherlands.
Okay.
And I think they're like in their final year of college, something like that. So they actually arrive in Panama a week early. Like they got dates mixed up or something, so they're there a week early. April 1st, 2014. They're looking for stuff to do. They go out on a hike. And they have a hike scheduled with a tour guide the next day. Because in Panama, like, it's a pretty treacherous area. You need a tour guide, apparently.
Oh, you told me about this really recently.
I know. But this is one of the best.
It is a
best
good one. Okay.
So they decide the day before their scheduled hike, they're going to go out on a hike themselves. 11 a.m. they set out, and they're with a host family, and one of the dogs goes with them from the host family.
Okay.
But I've like read a little bit about this. Apparently in Panama, it's not like, it's not like Julius, like a house dog. It's like this dog might just live on its own, like killing chickens on the daily basis, but he kind of has a home.
Okay.
He's not like Julius. He's not a little scared house dog.
He's the host family dog.
He's the host family dog, but he just like roams around the neighborhood.
Dog.
Yeah. Okay. Later that night, the dog returns home without the girls.
So that's weird.
Yeah, definitely weird. The girls called and texted family every day since they've been gone from home, which has been a few days now.
Okay.
And the last text message either of them sent to family was on April 1st when they set out for the hike.
The first hike, okay.
April 2nd, the next day, the girls miss... Come on. The girls miss an appointment, the scheduled appointment the next day with the tour guide for a hike. And at that point, police are notified, something's going on, searches begin. Because they also haven't returned home to their host family. Aerial searches by the police and local residents on foot are searching for these people. And what it sounds like to me is it's not that abnormal in this area that there's like a little search mission, because people do get lost on the trails pretty regularly.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
So April 6th.
This is 6 days later?
This is 5 days after they set out on their hike. The parents arrive in Panama along with Dutch law enforcement to launch a 10-day full-scale search of the area.
Whoa.
Parents put up a $30,000 reward. So there's definitely some dynamics at play where it's like, we're the rich Dutch people coming in here to do a proper search. You guys don't know what you're doing here in Panama.
I can understand that. Parents are really upset and they care about their children.
So there's interaction with like the Panama law enforcement, who doesn't seem to be doing that great of a job. But I think like any westernized country, when you go to Panama, you're just going to always assume they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So 10 weeks later, a tribeswoman finds Lisanne's backpack by a riverbank near her village. So this is someone living off the land, still kind of in like a primal environment, not really interacting with society much. Mm-hmm. But she claims that it was not there the day before, this blue backpack that she finds. And usually I'd be like, it was probably just there. It's been there forever for the 10 weeks. But I feel like this tribeswoman, she walked through the area like 3 or 4 times a day, probably pretty aware of her surroundings.
You wouldn't ignore something like that. Yeah, if that was like your home, your area. Yeah.
So she finds a backpack, turns it into the police. And the bag contains 1 camera, 2 bras, an iPhone, a Samsung phone, 2 pairs of sunglasses, the equivalent to $83 US, and a water bottle. Everything was dry and in fully functioning condition.
You'd think that if someone like messed with them or kidnapped them, they would take the money, right?
The money, yeah. Foul play.
And why do they have 2 bras?
Well, they probably took off their bras. It wasn't like they just took extra bras.
It was like hot?
Yeah, and like, well, we'll get into theories soon, but yeah.
Wouldn't you wear sports bras when you're hiking?
It could have been sports bras.
Oh, you just, okay.
But it could, so just because the money wasn't taken doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't foul play. It could have been like a sexually motivated crime, and they usually don't take money in those situations.
They don't?
No.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's pretty much the story, but there's more, of course. Phone activity.
Okay.
So we get the phones, we see all the history of the phones, and things start to get interesting. So the girls dialed 122. That's the emergency number in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm. Would that work from Panama?
I was reading that emergency numbers like work always or something.
So like if we were in India and we did 911, it would work?
I think it might work somehow.
Okay.
They also dialed 911, which was the emergency number in Panama, numerous times, starting, this is what I think is important, at 6, so that's 4, at 4:39 p.m. on April 1st.
Oh.
So they're thinking we're in an emergency situation 5 hours after we set out on the trail.
Whoa, that's
First
sad
day.
and scary.
So we can get into theories, but there's a lot of interesting ones. The calls did not go through due to lack of service. 77 attempts were made over 4 days with the phones.
Whoa, so they were like alive for 4 days and they had their phones?
At least 4 days. Only one call went through, but was disconnected after 2 seconds for loss of service. On April 6th...
So I'm thinking they were like, maybe like both of them got really severely injured and they couldn't move.
That's a good start to a theory for sure.
Okay.
There is something here that maybe makes you think differently. This next thing. On April 6th, several unsuccessful attempts were made to unlock Chris's phone with the wrong PIN number.
Okay. So someone came upon them.
Phone was not successfully unlocked after that time. So you're thinking someone else came upon them? My initial thought is Chris is no longer with us, or like not able to, maybe like just kind of unconscious. And the other girl's trying to access her phone? You're thinking it's someone else though?
Yeah, I guess like if we're in an emergency situation for 4 days, at that point I know your PIN and you know mine, or like I take the PIN off because I'm not trying to put the PIN
This
in.
is April 6th though, and all they had was a water bottle.
Yeah.
So we're 5 days, no water, potentially trying to drink like swamp water and stuff. Like who knows where their mind state is.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you're logging info like that. Both phones died on April 11th.
Okay.
So that's a long time after, but that was
Yeah.
probably just natural. So that's the first big piece of evidence. The second piece, the camera. This is where things get even more interesting, probably the most interesting. A lot of controversy about this. So the first photos were taken on April 1st as the girls left for their hike. They were just basically normal pictures.
Okay.
And I got some pictures here. So we got pictures like this. This is the first few pictures on the camera. They're just hiking, you know. This is 2014, going on into the Amazon. I don't know if it's the Amazon, but it's Panama forests. Second picture, just hanging, kind of on the ridge.
Oh.
And apparently there's like 2 sides to the ridge. One side is really like steep and unforeseen terrain, and the other side is more like it has a bunch of trails and stuff. So those are the first set of pictures. And the next set of photos, so those were taken April 1st. They left for the hike. The next set of photos were taken on April 8th.
After we assume they're dead.
So now we're talking a week.
Right.
So there's action on the camera after a week in the middle of the forest between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. The photo showed the girls' belongings spread out. So we only have the police didn't release all of these photos.
Okay.
And there's some that are like theorized what's in them. I've heard a lot that there's one picture that shows one of the girls with like a bloody temple area.
Okay.
Like bleeding, but still alive. I've never seen that photo though. But so this is between 1 and 4 a.m. And those pictures are like this. So you can see this. They were definitely doing some kind of signaling or like trying to build distress signals or something. That's what that looks like to me.
So did someone accidentally take these pictures who doesn't know how to use a camera?
We got a lot of theories on that. And then there's this picture. So this is the most heavily disputed picture.
Or maybe they're using it for light.
Exactly. The flash for light. That's what a lot of people think. This is the most heavily disputed picture. Some people say, and you can look this up
They're
online.
looking up or looking down?
We're looking down. If you like really brighten this picture, like this right here maybe is one of their bodies. But
So the other one made it... Oh, she fell?
potentially she fell.
Okay.
But I would by no means call that like confirmed. at all. I think that's just a theory.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll get to a little bit more on the camera later. There's one slightly conspiratorial thing about it. So after discovering the backpack, new searches began in the area. This is much later. So this is like, more than 3 months after they disappeared. 2 tribal women found Chris's jean shorts on top of a rock on the opposite side of the bank, a mile away, neatly folded. So the backpack traveled at least a mile from where she folded her shorts. Julius. Some people say the shorts folded was, again, just like trying to signal to people something's going on.
So they folded their shorts?
Yeah, they folded them and set them on a rock.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know that that's like a really great signal. Julius.
Come on, bro.
A hiking boot with a foot and attached leg bones was found.
Okay, so that's not something... Maybe like 27 Hours. You seen that movie?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to.
There's a video of watching it backwards or something, like a parody skit of doing it backwards. It's really weird.
Of him cutting off his arm?
But like
backwards?
It's someone else, like a joke one.
Oh, okay.
But that's besides the point. So unless like I don't think you could do that though. People can't normally do that, right?
Do what?
Like cut their own.
You're
limbs
immediately thinking she cut her limb off while she was alive?
Yeah,
it's more
I'm just
like...
going through the theory of like there was no like other people that came upon them.
Okay. Yeah, but what about animals?
Like it
With
was
remains.
how did it look? Like it was perfectly severed?
So this is one key point in the conspiracy theory type of area. So people say that it was literally like a hiking boot with a leg sticking out of it, almost like cartoon style. And the bones were completely clean. Some people said it looked like it was bleached, like mafia style, like dunk it in a bath of acid or whatever to melt away all the flesh.
This just doesn't add up. Like who's doing all this?
But then some people say if you just leave like a leg out in the sun for a few months, that's what happens.
Was this months later?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is about, I think, 3 to 5 months later.
Okay.
And then pelvis bones and ribs were also found nearby. Not nearby where it was like the body was definitely laying just like this. It was like scattered. Yeah. And DNA testing confirmed the bones belonged to both women. So both women confirmed. But there was also bones of like other random people. Like tribes people.
Tribes people or like other people like that?
Not hikers, like tribes people.
So like maybe a sacrifice thing?
And some people say this DNA testing is by no means legitimate because it was done in Panama. But the leg bone with the hiking boots, that's like for sure the one girl's.
So I'm
'Cause it
thinking
was her hiking
sacrificial at this point.
You're thinking sacrificial?
If there's other people that are from the tribes,
Yeah.
they needed 2 extra bodies.
I mean, that's definitely one of the theories, more conspiracy type ones, is like cannibal tribes.
Not cannibalism, but like sacrificing is a thing that cultures still do, like with animals.
Yeah. And then the pelvis and rib bones had skin attached while Chris's leg bone was just like totally bare.
Oh, there was no skin or muscle on it?
No, it was just the bones. Like bleach white, basically.
So animal. The shredding of like the bones and stuff in that way?
I would think it was an animal, yeah.
Like the ribs, like with skin still on it?
And that's basically the entire story. There is one significant piece of info that is more... Okay, so I'll just tell you it. Photos. So there was between 90 and 100 photos taken on the camera. Most of them that one night between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m.
Okay.
I think like 70 plus of them were taken at that time. But the photos go sequentially. Like if you're looking at the metadata of the photos or whatever, it's like, 507, 508, but then 509 is missing. And then it continues in order.
So it's like a combo of like animals, but also people. Right?
So, yeah.
Because who's deleting the pictures? Unless they are accidentally deleting the pictures, right?
They could have deleted it, yeah. That would be my theory.
And like they're using the flash because animals, they can hear the animals, but they want to like scare them away. So they're taking the pictures.
It may not have even been deleting. It might have just been overwriting. Like when you're taking a picture, do you want to overwrite, save space or something? I don't know how the camera works.
Man, that's like a lot of things to think about when you're trying to like save your life.
It was
do
a Canon power
Sure, I want to overwrite. I don't care.
Yeah. So that you guys can throw your theories out there, but
so the scattered bones suggest animals. Maybe tribesmen found them dead and put them to rest in their graveyard. I agree with Mega, sacrificial, and then animals got to them. Definitely using the camera for flash and to scare off animals. Animals would leave the teeth traces.
Yeah, that's true. You would think you would maybe see it on the bones or something. Yeah. I feel like we didn't get a great autopsy on the bones of like what exactly happened. I think you could figure out a lot from that probably.
So like, did the parents go back when everything was found and like bring it to the? Why wouldn't they have brought it to the Netherlands and like?
I don't know.
You can move all this stuff.
They tried doing everything they could, I'm sure. But the one thing is, with the camera being used between 1 and 4 a.m., that doesn't strike me as someone finding the bag, because you don't find bags at pitch black in the rainforest.
So they started calling emergency though on April 1st.
We're gonna get to that too. Let's talk about this first.
I thought you were done. Okay.
Well, yeah. We're going through theories right now.
Okay.
But if you're taking pictures between 1 and 4 a.m., it's probably not someone stumbling on the bag, finding the camera, taking pictures. It's probably them, right?
Right.
So I think that means the pictures were taken on April 8th. One of them is alive on April 8th, in my opinion, for sure. That's a week later.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah.
In combination with trying to get into the other phone.
Yeah.
One step.
Exactly.
Okay.
So theory, we can just start going through theories. Definitely something happened the first day.
But like what that would last that long? Because if it was a serious animal, they're not gonna not kill them right away.
An animal, like a predator, like a human though?
No, an animal, not a human.
You're talking like some kind of
a bear or something, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think a bear attacked them while they were alive. But anything can happen. I don't know if there's bears even in that region, but like a mountain lion or something.
Okay, so why are they calling 911 on April 1st?
3 theories. One would be they're lost, but I don't think you call 911 5 hours after leaving for a hike just if you're lost.
Well, if you don't have reception, you can't call anyone else. Then you call what you think can get reception.
Because at 4 p.m. it's still daylight, but you realize like, okay, we're not going to have much more daylight, probably like a few hours. You're getting kind of scared, but I don't think...
Who do you call? Who do you know in Panama?
I think you just keep trying to figure it out longer. Probably.
I don't know if I would. I don't know.
I think something had to have happened the first day for them to call 911. The top 2 options I would say is broken foot, sprained ankle, type of thing, or a snake bite. And there are deadly snakes in the area.
Okay. So one of them got bit by a snake?
One of them. Or just like a fall too, like falling down the hill.
Yeah, because if one got bit by a snake, wouldn't the other at least go and try and get help?
That's the thing.
I think that's better than staying, right?
I definitely think it is, but I don't know how you react in the situation too. So what I think would have happened if it was... I don't know. Because like if you got injured, I would probably take photos of the area to try remembering.
But all the photos were taken on April 8th.
But I would definitely be nervous about not being able to find where you were when I like went back in for you after I got help.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if it was that serious and injured and we're in Panama, you're getting like a helicopter.
Yeah.
You're not just getting the house people, right, that you're staying with.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, so like yeah, when Julius ran away, remember I kept going for him and you went back and got the car.
Yeah.
You got to split up, right? You can't just stay together. Miley's eating Julius's food.
Oh.
She loves his food.
So the camera flashes, there's theories on that, probably like signaling for help, trying to see stuff in the dark. And then some people even say like maybe animals were eating her friend and she was like trying to scare the animals away. Who was just like shooting her friend.
With the flash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her friend was dead at that point.
Oh, okay, I see.
And I think a lot of people seem to be in agreement that the pictures were an attempt to document the area. So like maybe she could run and find help. And the weird thing is, I was thinking is, if we were in that situation, I think most people, they would leave some kind of like message on their phone for their family, or like some kind of writing or something.
Well, you don't think you're gonna die, right? You're hoping you make it out.
That's what people say. They were just optimistic the whole time until it was like the very end.
Yeah.
But even like writing on rocks, like, you know, we were here.
I don't think I would do that.
Really?
I wouldn't think I'm gonna die. Because at that point you've given up, right? You're like, well, let me just write my death letter.
Yeah, I guess so.
And what do you write? Like, I love you, an animal attacked Diane. And
Yeah, just tell people what happened.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then the big thing, I think, is the water. They had one, like, Dasani water bottle.
Dasani?
Yeah.
Real quickly, Dana Fair, thank you for the donation. Love these videos, you guys. Mega, you mentioned the changeling. I have something so interesting to show you, but it won't let me post the link on here. You can DM us on Instagram. If you do have Instagram.
Or email us, ketoconnect@gmail.com.
Yeah, both of those are great options. Thank you.
But the water. So someone is alive 7 days without having water. That to me means they probably are taking chances on drinking some ponds and
It
stuff.
wasn't raining at all? We don't know.
I think it rained pretty heavily in that area, but still, do you get enough water? I guess maybe you could like capture
if you had,
some
like,
of
a
it.
big leaf or something.
Yeah.
It gets absorbed through your skin and stuff.
Yeah. I think by the time they were taking the photos, they definitely weren't in their right mind. At least the one.
Yeah, definitely delirious.
So the things that lead me to believe one person got injured and potentially died pretty early on is the immediate 911 calls, the pin not working on one of the girls' phones,
Yeah.
and I guess that's really it. Those two things. That's pretty much all I got.
Yes, they were kidnapped and tied up out there. Kidnappers gave them water. One got loose, called 911. Both eventually killed.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. The fact that they survived so long does kind of make kidnapping
That
seem
someone
more...
was holding them hostage,
Yeah.
yeah. But why
And-
take the pictures? How can you take the pictures if you're being held hostage?
Yeah, that's true. Unless maybe kidnappers did it. But hikers have disappeared in that kind of area at a pretty frequent rate, apparently.
Okay. So it's just easy to get lost. I mean, do your research, guys. Don't just go hiking in any woods. Hiking sounds fun until you go into another dimension, portal.
So far after doing Murder, She Ate, it got me more scared of going on hikes.
Yeah, just stay in your house, like sit on the couch. Walk around the neighborhood. Oh man, someone's got a toy she wants to play with.
Hey, Miley.
She dropped her toy for us.
Whenever Miley gets on the table, some of you,
Are
a
grossed
small
out.
percentage of you think it's really gross, but
She's our child. When your child gets on the table, it's not gross, is it?
I know. We think it's cute. Maybe she was trying to get a pic of one of the kidnappers.
It feels like just an animal thing. Or snake thing. Hi, Miley's butt.
Drug trafficking? What's that?
Sex trafficking, yeah. Someone said a lot of, what's it called? Drug cartels.
Cartels?
Have like camps out there, so that maybe they were killed off because they saw something. Maybe
That's
they
one
shouldn't
theory.
have.
Yeah. No blood anywhere? I don't think they found any blood because it like rained a lot. It was 5 months. It's like rainforest type climate.
Yeah.
And bring more than one bottle of Dasani. Yeah. They definitely weren't prepared.
You don't think maybe you're like, let's go on like a quick 2-hour hike and then we'll go into town and have some dinner and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
You're not like trying to go on like an 8-hour hike because the next day they were planning a big hike. So
Miley inspired me to adopt a kitten from the local shelter.
oh, that's amazing. We love our little adopted baby.
She was the 2015 calendar cat for Philly Animal Welfare Societies.
Now she's like gained way too much weight to be on any calendar.
No, she hasn't. She's only gained like half a pound in all these years.
Someone asked what you're eating. He's eating a keto bar.
Keto bar. We got to the theories.
Maybe someone's behind.
What do you think happened?
I think,
Accidental death is what it seems like to me.
to you?
Yeah.
No, I think there's definitely foul play.
You always think that.
And you always laugh. Why can't it have been foul play? There's a lot more stuff that goes down that you like disappearance and stuff. There's so many people just killing and raping out there, like as we speak.
Yeah.
I
think the evidence points to, and it's just the most likely thing to have happened.
Why?
Because they went out on a hike and they don't know what they're doing.
You said a lot of people like die in that area?
Some people do.
From what?
I didn't look into that enough.
Okay. Well, it could be from like killers.
Seriously, you have to look into what happened to Elisa Lam.
We have.
We've looked into it. Some people find it so interesting. I don't find it that interesting.
There's not a lot that happened, but we'll definitely cover it one day, so we won't speak much on it right now.
I think she just went a little crazy.
Yeah, she had like what's it called?
Well, she was on drugs too, right?
Yeah, so she had an episode.
Someone said the 2 bras in the backpack was weird. Is it weird? Wouldn't you take off your bra if you were in a survival situation?
And then put it in my backpack? I guess for comfort, yeah.
Because I was reading the forums and everyone, like a few people were like, it's weird that there was bras in the backpack. And then someone's like, you've obviously never worn a bra. You would immediately take it off. Yeah. I don't know, but that's like sounds right to me.
Yeah, I guess I never really wear one. But I'd be wearing a sports bra and yeah, I guess I would take it off for sure.
I hate bras. Maybe they did too. I've never heard a girl be like, I love bras. Does anyone love bras?
I guess women love like push-up bras that make you like look bustier.
Hiking tan, some people said.
Yes, they were like tanning. But you don't really tan in the woods, do you? Why are these going like full caboose here?
Oh, that'd be a great name for a cat, actually. Caboose.
That would be cute.
What's the deal with net carbs on keto?
What is the deal with net carbs? It's a way to track your intake of carbs without accounting for like fibers or maybe some sugar alcohols that aren't digested and don't impact your blood sugar.
Yeah. Julius?
You can catch rainwater in your bra and drink it. Ooh. Anything else? Anything else?
Natalie Holloway? That's like a big mystery. So I think
Yeah.
there's been some updates on that one over the years. I haven't been paying attention.
How is the phone still charged? A lot of people ask that. Yeah.
They turned it on and off repeatedly. They turned it on, check
That
for
wastes
service,
more
turn it off.
battery.
Not more than keeping it on roaming and stuff, though.
I guess. Maybe you could just put on airplane mode too.
This is just a normal keto bar. Company is called Keto Bars. Is keto like the Atkins? It's a lot like the Atkins. It's more focused. It's not really like, I guess Atkins is higher protein, not really much emphasis on like healthy fats and stuff. That'd be the major difference.
Wait, did anyone talk about the local tour guide they turned down who was a suspect in behaving improperly with women quests?
Yeah, there was one tour guide who eventually was like a predator of some kind, like sexual predator.
Oh, you didn't say that.
No.
So why are you laughing at my theory of it being someone?
Well, there's a lot of theories like that. So the dynamic with the case is the parents, of course, assume foul play. And they have a lawyer who like throws a lot of theories out there that are just like, sure, I guess that happened, but it's 90% likely that it was just an accident.
An accident. And then animals got to them?
Someone said do a 1-hour Adnan special. I love talking about Adnan. We could do that. Mega, do you know much about it?
Yeah, I listened to the entire case, and I've read about it quite a bit.
We'll probably in the future at some point do a 1-hour Adnan one, and then a 1-hour Making a Murderer. What's his name?
Stephen Avery.
Stephen Avery. We'll do one of those. And then I thought a cool one would be cases with creepy video footage, like CCTV footage.
Mm-hmm. That would be fun to show.
Adnan, what is Adnan? He is the Serial, if you know the podcast. It's like basically...
The first season.
the case that started this entire true crime obsession thing.
For a lot of people, but it existed before that. Have you ever watched Disappeared? I don't think I have.
I've watched a few episodes. Did you check out the Swindled podcast yet? No, I gotta start that.
Yeah, I like those kinds of like crimes more than these, because they're just, I don't know, they're not as like scary and terrifying. Like the one Matt just told us, it's like, all right, well now I'm forever scared to
Of
go
hikes?
hiking in the Amazon.
We gotta get Ketonement on one of these to do a mukbang and tell a story with us.
Yeah, wearing our own shirt.
At some point, hopefully, we'll have a guest appearance on here. I don't know who, though. That would be fun, though. Chris Watts is the big story with heaps of footage. We did that one last week.
We did do, not last week, the week before.
The footage with that one is creepy because you go, they have the body cam of the cop, and you're like, oh, this guy literally just killed his entire family 5 hours ago, and now there's a cop, and he's acting normal. It's like,
I have to watch that.
it's really weird to see. Do you believe in the Illuminati? No. I guess I don't know. People have different definitions of what exactly that is. I would say mostly no. Like, do I think Jay-Z is in the Illuminati? No. I think he's just a talented guy.
Amazon has a lot of people doing shady stuff. Could have stumbled upon something they shouldn't have. Yeah, that makes sense. Surviving R. Kelly was shocking more than I thought it would be.
Is that on Netflix?
Oh, maybe. I watched a couple interviews about that. Apparently he was married to Aaliyah when she was like 13 or 15.
What?
Yeah.
R. Kelly was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ow, Miley. Ah,
Oh my gosh.
she always gets her nail. Like just
Her
like,
claws are
she
so
like,
sharp.
Loves using her nails.
It's on Lifetime.
Hi, buddy. I think he has to go potty. All right, guys. It's been an hour. This
That's
was really
it.
fun.
It's already over. Now we gotta wait a whole nother week.
Yeah, but this was great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If it's your first time here, hopefully you like the crime.
And remember, if you have a case you want us to try doing for next time, once this video gets posted, comment.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. We'll be
Bye.
back next week.
Have a great week.